Shalom. This the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 8. It says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like eyes of man, and their mouth speaking great things. So before I start, I'm gonna start by giving all praise, all honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash, the Bwana, to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to you, Akiam, who are pushing these truths into the four wings of the earth to make sure that Jerusalem is established here on earth again as a place of worship, as it was in the days of old. Yahweh means the name of the Heavenly Father Almighty, whom the world ignorant call Jehovah or Yahweh. His only name, which is a Hebrew name, is Yahweh. Bahasham means in the name. See, Yahawashai means the name of the only begotten Son of the Most High Power, whom the world ignorant call Jesus Christ. His name is Yahawashai Hamashiach. Rakaha Kwadash means the name of the Holy Spirit. See, so in this lesson here, we're going to deal about how America came into power. See, the little horn in the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 8. See, how so? We're going to show the explanations or have, we are going to have a lesson on how America came into power. No? So, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7. It says, after this I saw in the night visions. Now this is Daniel having a vision which troubled him. See, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, strong and exceeding, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. See, so in this verse it talks about the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire. See, which is diverse from the previous three beasts, which are the three kingdoms that passed their way. See, previous kingdoms that ruled the majority, or that ruled the known world at that time. See, starting with the Assyrian Babylonian Empire. See, the Medes and the Persian Empire, then the Greeks Empire. See, the fourth beast, it talks about the Roman Empire. See, which gave rise to America. See, as the little horn. See, so the fourth beast talks about America. See, so in the Roman military, they used a lot of iron weapons. See, they used the force to conquer. See, they conquered the most regions of the known world at that time. See, they conquered different nations and start to subject everybody under them. See, so that is due to the strength of their military. See, and it was diverse from all other previous beasts, which reigned in a dynastic rule. See, because the three previous kingdoms, the kingdoms was passed from the king to the crown prince, meaning to the son of a king, and to the sons after them. See, but during the time of the Roman kingdom, see, they had a senate, see, and an emperor. See, you see, it is like a senate. A senate was there to decide on what matter they should do and they should not do. See, and they had an emperor, like a president. You see. So verse 8, going to hit the point of the lesson. See, verse 8, Daniel 7 and 8 says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. See? So the little horn here is America, Babylon the Great. See? The starting point of the rise of the war, which sits upon many waters, which is America, referred at as Mystery Babylon, Babylon the Great. See? See? So America came into power, see, by subduing, by uprooting the three horns which were luring over America. See, and these 3 horns are the Anglo-Saxons, the Visigoths, and the Franks, meaning the French, the Spain, and British. You see, so the Anglo-Saxon, which came to be known as the British, which is now part of the United Kingdom, no. So British was one of the three world powers at that time, which came to colonize America. So it was British, Spain, and French. You see, and America at that time was originally known as the 13 colonies, which was under Britain. No, so America came out of the mouth of British, or came out from the Anglo-Saxon. See, so when you say the horns plucked up by the roots, it meaning that America waged war with these 3 horns to establish her rule, to establish her rulership. You see, so the horns plucked up by the roots represent that America had war with these 3 horns, which are the French, Spain, and British. No, so we had the Spanish-American War, the French-American War, which is sometimes known as the French-Indian War. See, and the Revolutionary War, which was basically the war between America and British. You know, so the Americans uprooted their colonizers. See, the British, French, and the Spain. So those 3 little horns come from the 10 original horns, which were the vassal states of the 4th beast, which was the Roman Empire. You see, so the Roman Empire had 10 horns. See, which were the European nations at that time. The European nations at that time, which were referred to their ancient names. See, the French were referred as the Franks. See, the Spains were referred as the Visigoths. The British were referred as the Anglo-Saxons. See, there were many other nations which make up the 10 horns. You see, and which nowadays we refer them as the European Union, European nations. You see, so the British were known as the Anglo-Saxons. The Spains were known as the Visigoths. The Franks were known as the French were known as the Franks. You see, and when it says that, and behold, in this horn were eyes like eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. See, eyes like eyes of man, and mouth speaking great things. It represents America, the nature of the Americans. You see, the proud speak and blasphemous speaking of sayings. See, and eyes is a symbol. We can say that eyes represent wisdom. Eyes represent wisdom. You see, so when you talk that it has eyes like eyes of men, it talks about the American left hand wisdom or witchcraft. You see. So we are going to look we are going to have some information on the wars that America fought between the French, the British, and the Spain. and the Spain. Say that. So let us look here. The French and Indian War. See. So these were the conflicts which we can say which facilitate. See, the conflict which facilitate the establishment of America. See, says the French and Indian War, says part of the 7 Years' War and the 60 Years' War. Here it says the French and Indian War from 1754 to 1763 was the theater of 7 Years' War, which pitted the North American colonies of the British Empire against those of the French, each side being supported by various Native American tribes. See, at the start of the war, the French colonies had a population of roughly 60,000 settlers compared with 2 million in the British colonies. The outnumbered French particularly depended on their native allies. See, so the French had much dependence on the Native Americans, which were their allies. See, 2 years into the French and Indian War in 1756, Great Britain declared war on France, beginning the worldwide 7 Years' War. See, many view the French and Indian War as being merely the American theater of this conflict. However, in the United States, the French and Indian War is viewed as a singular conflict which was not associated with any European war. See, Canadians call it the War of the Conquest. It says the British colonists were supported at various times by the Iroquois, Catawba, and Cherokee tribes, and the French colonists were supported by the Wabanaki, the Confederacy member tribes Abenaki and Mi'kmaq at the Algonquin, Lenape, Ojibwa, Ottawa, Shawnee, and Yandot, Huron tribes. Fighting took place primarily along the frontiers between New France and British colonies from the province of Virginia in the south to Newfoundland in the north. It began with a dispute over control of the co-influence of the Allegheny River and the Monongahela River, called the Forks of the Ohio, and the site of the French fort Dequens at the location that later became Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The dispute erupted into violence in the Battle of Jumonville Glen in May 1754, during which Virginia military men under the command of 22-year-old George Washington ambushed French patrol. See, so this was the war where the British won. See, let's go here and hit some, hit the specific paragraph. See, this at the last paragraph. See, the last paragraph. Here it says, France also ceded its territory east of the Mississippi to Great Britain, as well as French Louisiana west of the Mississippi River to its ally Spain in compensation for Spain lost to Britain of Spanish Florida. See, so at this war also the French had a support from the Spains. See, because at that time the French under King Louis the 15th, see, and the Spains were under King Charles the III, see, whereby King Charles the III was a cousin of King Louis of France. See, it says Spain had ceded Florida to Britain in exchange for return of Havana, Cuba. French colonial presence north of the Caribbean was reduced to the islands of Saint Pierre and Miquelon, confirming Great Britain's position as the dominant colonial power in the North America. You see? Let's go here and have says the French-Indian War, 7 Years' War. And this is from the Office of the Historian, United States Department of State, United States of America, Office of the Historian. It says the French and Indian War, 7 Years' War, 1754 to 1763, says the French and Indian War was the North American conflict in a larger imperial war between Great Britain and France, known as the 7 Years' War. The French and the Indian War began in 1754 and ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1763. The war provided Great Britain enormous territorial gains in North America, but disputes over subsequent frontier policy and paying the war's expense, leading to colonial discontent and ultimately to the American Revolution. So, pretty much this war is the war that gave rise to the American Revolution War, or the War of Independence. See, it says the French and Indian War resulted from ongoing frontier tension in North America as both French and British imperial officials and colonists sought to extend each country's sphere of influence in frontier regions. In North America, the war pitted French colonists and their native allies against Great Britain, the Anglo-American colonists, and the Iroquois confederates, which controlled most of upstate New York and parts of northern Pennsylvania. In 1753, prior to the outbreak of hostilities, Great Britain controlled the 13 colonies up to the Appalachian Mountains. But beyond lay New France, a very large, sparsely settled colony that stretched from Louisiana through the Mississippi Valley and Great Lakes to Canada. See? So let us go here. And no, it says despite facing, we start here with this paragraph here up to down. It says, despite facing such a formidable alliance, British naval strength and Spanish ineffectiveness led to British success. So the Spanish were there to support the French. You see, British forces seized the French Caribbean islands. Spanish, Cuba, and the Philippines. Fighting in Europe ended after the failed Spanish invasion of British ally Portugal. By 1763, French and Spain diplomats began to seek peace. So it says in the result of the Treaty of Paris, 1763, Great Britain secured significant territorial gains in North America, including all French territory east of the Mississippi River, as well as Spanish Florida, although the treaty returned Cuba to Spain. See, so all of the areas of jurisdiction that were under French, were now under the British. You see. Let's go on. It says, unfortunately for the British, the fruits of victory brought seed of trouble with Great Britain's American colonies. See? So this clearly is going to show us how, after the end of this French-Indian War, there comes another war, which is an American War of Independence. It says the war had been enormously expensive, and the British government's attempt to impose taxes on colonists to help cover this expense resulted in increasing colonial resentment of British attempts to expand imperial authority in the colonies. British attempts to limit Western expansion by colonists and inadvertent provocation of a major Indian War further angered the British subjects living in the American colonies. These disputes ultimately spurred colonial rebellion, which is an American War of Independence, which eventually developed into a full-scale war for independence. See, so at this point, the French were uprooted from being the colonizers of America. See, so meaning that from those three horns, now the first horn is plucked up by the roots, which is the French. See? Now let us look at how the second horn was plucked up by the roots. See? Now the second horn being the Anglo-Saxons, which are the British. Now the first horn were the French, which are the French nowadays, and the second horn, which are the British, which were known as the Anglo-Saxons. So America start to wage war with the French, then the British, then the Spains, the people of Spain. Now this is the American Revolutionary War. Now it says the American Revolutionary War from April 1775 to September 3rd, 1783. It says also known as the Revolutionary War or American War of Independence. See, meaning that America was under the Anglo-Saxons, who are part of the United Kingdom now, the British. It says was the military conflict of the American Revolution, in which American patriot forces, largely under George Washington's command, defeated the British, resulting in the Treaty of Paris, 1783, recognizing the independence and sovereignty of the United States. Fighting began on April 19, 1775 at the battles of Lexington and Concord. The war was formalized and intensified following passage of the Lee Resolution, which asserted that the 13 colonies, which was the name of America back then, were free and independent states by the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia on July 2, 1776, and the unanimous ratification of the Declaration of Independence 2 days later on July 4, 1776. It says American patriot forces eventually gained the support from the Kingdom of France and the Kingdom of Spain. See? So the patriots of America now were having the supports from the enemies of the Anglo-Saxons. See, the British and loyalist forces also included Hessian soldiers from Germany. The conflict was fought in North America, the Caribbean, and the Atlantic Ocean. See, so this time the second horn is being plucked up by the roots, which is now the Anglo-Saxons or the British, see, which ruled America. No? The second horn being plucked up by the roots and lost the war. See? Now let us see the last horn, which is the third horn, being uprooted from its roots. See, uprooted by the roots. Now the Spanish. See, so America waged war last with the Spanish in order to stabilize areas of jurisdiction. Says the Spanish-American War. Says the Spanish-American War, April 21 to August 30, 1898, began in the aftermath of the internal explosion of USS Maine in Havana Harbor in Cuba, leading to United States intervention in the Cuban War of Independence. The war led to the United States emerging predominant in the Caribbean region and resulted in U.S. acquisition of Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. It also led to the United States involvement in the Philippine Revolution and later to the Philippine-American War. Now let us go and hit the specific information. It says, we start here, up, down. It says, select here. It says, The main issue was Cuban independence. Revolts had been occurring for some years in Cuba against Spanish colonial rule. The United States backed these revolts up upon entering the Spanish-American War. There had been war scares before, as in the Virginia's affair in 1873, but in the late 1890s, American public opinion swayed in support of the rebellion because of the reports of concentration camps set up to control population. Yellow journalism exaggerated the atrocities to further increase public favor to sell more newspapers and magazines. See? So in this war, the Spanish lost the war. It says, we start with this last two paragraphs. It says, the war ended with the 1898 Treaty of Paris, negotiated on terms of favorable to the United States. The treaty ceded ownership of Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines from Spain to the United States, and granted the United States temporary control of Cuba. See, and that is how the United States implanted their puppet regime in Cuba. It said the cession of Philippines involved the payment of $20 million to Spain by the US to cover infrastructure owned by Spain. The Spanish-American War brought an end to almost 4 centuries of Spain's presence in Americas, Asia, and the Pacific. So this was the time when America was at its peak. It started to be at its peak. Says the defeat and loss of the Spanish Empire's last remnant was a profound shock to Spain's national psyche and provoked a thorough philosophical and artistic de-evaluation of Spain's society known as the Generation of 98. The United States, meanwhile, not only became a major power. So now this is the time when America became a major power in the world, because it already uprooted the Spanish, being the last horn in one among of the 3 horns which were uprooted by the roots. It says the United States, meanwhile, not only became a major power but also gained several islands possession spanning the globe, which provoked rancorous debate over the wisdom of expansionism. See? So Daniel 7 and 8 says, I considered the horns and behold, there came up among them a little horn, which is America, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And the 3 of the first horns which plucked up by the roots are the French, Spain, and Britain, which were the colonizers of America. And America waged war with these 3 horns in order to establish her rule. You see? And behold, in this horn were eyes like eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. See? That's how America came into power. Let's go and read Daniel 7, 20 up to 25. Now, the book of Daniel 7, 20 says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell. See, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellow. I beheld the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given unto the saints of the Most High, and the time came, and the saints possessed the kingdom. See? So meaning after the fall of America, there's going to be an establishment of the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be an everlasting righteous kingdom. See? Thus he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall rise. See, meaning the 10 kingdoms, the Franks, the Visigoths, the Burgundians, see, Salakia, my language, and the Anglo-Saxons, and many others. See, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Meaning that America will rise and subdue the three horns, which were the Anglo-Saxons, the Franks, and the Visigoths. Verse 25 says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and he shall be given into his hand until a time and dividing of time. You see? So pretty much in this verse 24, 23, 24, and 25, it talks about the 4th beast, which is the Roman Empire, which was diverse from the previous 3 beasts. See? And the 10 horns, which are the 10 kingdoms, which were the vassal states of the Roman Empire. See? And another horn, which is the America, which came into power by subduing the 3 kings, meaning the British, the Spain, and French. See? And when it talks about that, he shall speak great words against the Most High, meaning that the Americans' proud nature, the Americans' act, behavior, and blasphemous sayings against the angels, Yahweh. See? They speak proudly against the Lord. See? They create system that is designed to have this mass enslavement of the Israelites. See? You see? So, pretty much that was the lesson I wanted to share with you brothers out there. No? So the lesson is all about how America came into power. See how America subdued the 3 horns that were ruling over America. See? So I hope you all were edified. So I'm going to end up by giving all praise, all honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Raka, Kwadash, Shalom, Kwam Yashara.